PureBand is a wearable wristband that allows healthcare practitioners and their patients to monitor personal hand hygiene practices. As users go throughout their day, it gives them an indication of events when hand sanitizing is required. For example, every time a doctor enters a patient's room, they are required to sanitize their hands. If a doctor forgets to sanitize their hands when entering the room, the band momentarily turns orange, giving him a reminder to return and use the sanitizer dispenser. If he does, the band displays a simple animation for 20 seconds that is the recommended amount of time to spend rubbing sanitizer into one's hands. After thoroughly sanitizing his hands, the band blinks twice to let their user know it is active again. If the doctor ignores the orange reminder, after a few seconds the band turns red, indicating to the doctor and his patient that he has forgotten to sanitize his hands. Of course, at any time, the doctor can remedy this situation by sanitizing his hands. Sanitizing hands is a frequent and important part of any healthcare practitioner's day. In addition to sanitizing during certain events, such as entering a patient's room, it is also important to sanitize every hour, regardless of activity. This is because a number of devices we use, such as computer, keyboards, or telephones, often harbor harmful germs. Because of this, after a set amount of time, the band begins to slowly fade from its healthy blue color to shades of red, letting the user know that it is time to sanitize their hands again. PureBand works by implementing two discrete sensors to monitor hand hygiene. The first is a reed switch that is capable of sensing a magnetic field on the sanitizer dispenser that is created using a small neodymium magnet. When this sensor is triggered, the system is notified that the user has sanitized their hands. To detect when a user has forgotten to sanitize their hands, the system uses sensors that are capable of detecting infrared light coming from LEDs placed along the doorway or side of the dispenser. It is even possible to use modulated infrared signals to personally identify individual sanitation stations to monitor patterns of usage throughout an entire hospital. Throughout the day, users are able to monitor their hand hygiene performance by pressing on the side of the band. Their performance is represented with respect to the proportion of blue to red lights on the band. A majority of blue lights represents a greater incidence of sanitizer usage, whereas overwhelming red lights represent the times when a user has forgotten to sanitize. In addition to this simple representation, PureBand uses Bluetooth to connect to the user's phone to allow them to track their performance over longer periods of time. Furthermore, information from the mobile application can be shared with the central server to allow hospital administrators to address the needs of healthcare practitioners to develop and maintain proper hand hygiene practices.